Everybody, it's your radio pal, Wes Nessman. Forgive me, my camera's a little awkward here. This is for staff. Can't forget that no matter what. I've been fighting for your right to party for a long, long time. And the deal is, when a band promises us, say, a meet and greet or something a little of that nature, chance for you to meet them, hang out with them, get autographs or whatever. Yeah, I know that that's pretty darn important to you, and you get your hopes up and you tell all your friends and you tell all your relatives. So when it comes time to do those things, if we have a problem with a band, I get pissed. I get very, very angry. It's like, you don't have to do these things. You never had to do these things, but when you promise them, then yeah, you have to do these things. And I have literally been nearly beaten backstage at a Kiss concert, or it could have turned the other way. Maybe I'd have got lucky and beaten some other people. Had the problem with Cheap Trick once. I've had it with various other bands of this decade too. But this is the story of the last time it happened, and this is with the band Godsmack, and it left a really, really bad taste in my mouth for this band. Were it not for the fact that after the show, me and Robbie Merrill, the bass player, were doing shots. So this comes from out-of-control management, road crew, the various hangers-on and assholes that are part of a band's deal. The deal is Godsmack offered to do a meet and greet with a bunch of our listeners. Okay, and they said, come on down before the show in order to do it. So we had all my listeners there, and I took all my listeners and gathered them up and took them over to the Voodoo Lounge. And they were waiting there, and I went off to do something, I don't know, to go grab a pen or something that you need during a meet and greet. And when I come back, all my listeners are out of there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, well, these guys told us to leave the Voodoo Lounge. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't do that to my listeners. So I called the guys over there and said, you know, these are my listeners. This is for the meet and greet. And they said, well, we have a private meet and greet that we want to do here first. And I'm like, well, why don't you just take these people, they're part of the meet and greet too, and just do it all at once? Oh, no, we'll do this over here, and then we'll come out and meet your listeners. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. That's not going to work for me. This is my Voodoo Lounge. These are my listeners. How about I just have them stand in the corner while you meet everybody else, then you can take care of them? No, they want to argue about it. And I'm getting really, really angry at this point. And I told them very simply, you're in my fucking house. I make the rules here. You don't make the rules here. My listeners, my Voodoo Lounge, this is where we're going to do stuff. So we argued and argued and argued, and it started getting really, really heated, and they went and got a couple big guys. And it's real obvious what they were doing. They went and got the biggest, stupidest guy that they've got on staff, and they got somebody else who'd probably done some jail time, and they figured they were going to back me down. Well, the fact of the matter is I'm not going to back down on something like this. You know, beat my ass, make me famous. I don't care. It's a big deal. So anyways, I basically shouted these guys down, and then I noticed, you know, I'm yelling at these guys, you ain't going to fucking come in here and treat my listeners this way or any different than anything else, blah, blah, blah. And I noticed that even the big guys start backing up a little bit. Like, whoa, we've had enough of this fight. And I turn around and I look behind me, and there is Los Carnales MC Lubbock chapter. They had my back. I had no idea. I thought I was being a bit of a badass, but I had some bike enthusiasts behind me, and I had no idea it the whole time. Anyways, we came to an impasse. The whole thing went down. Everybody got to meet everybody. These guys were complete dicks. But after the show, you know, I went back and met Robbie Merrill. We had talked on the phone and found out that he was a tequila connoisseur, and me and him did some shots of some premium tequila, and that kind of, you know, simmered the whole thing down a little bit. But they're people, just jerks. Now, here's the funny thing. That following Monday morning, my boss gets a call, And I had already briefed my boss on the whole thing. You know, how'd the weekend go? Well, I had some trouble with Godsmack's people, but we got our listeners what they were promised, you know. And so my boss understands, and he knows how these people are because he used to work the rodeo circuit, and he got a lot of this from some of those type people too, you know, coming into town acting snotty like they own the place. So anyways, he gets a phone call, and the guy calls up and goes, blah, 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 I'm with Godsmack. Yes. Well, we had some problems with one of your employees over the weekend. Yes. He was a big guy with the tattoo on his leg. Yes. Well, he needs to know that if he doesn't shut his mouth, he's going to get hurt. And my boss goes, why didn't you tell him that? Click! See, my boss knew what jailhouse snitch behavior was like. So, Godsmack's management, road crew, bunch of bitches, okay? That's all I got to say. When you call and try to snitch somebody out to their job after you've left town, that's pretty darn low. You guys be awesome to each other, and I'll always make sure you meet your bands.